Faisal, how does essence relate to seeking itself, to the path? How and why seek essence?
Okay, I'll relate it later on. A little story of Mullah Nasruddin, I will relate it. Let's start with something most obvious. We as human beings are always seeking something. Some of us seeking happiness, some of us seeking strength, some of us seeking support, some of us seeking power, some seeking glories. I mean, we are really like hungry ghosts, you know, inside we are so empty and we seek something that fulfills us. And by nature of where we are seekers. Everybody seeking something, you know. The seeking is because we lost something, and that's why we trying to gain it. We have a sense that there is something like happiness or love or joy or power. We have some sense of it. Then we lost it and we seek it. We try to find it. The dilemma is where we seek it. You know? Most of us, we seek it in the realm where it doesn't really exist. We're seeking something that belongs to another realm in another realm. You know? Mm-hmm. There's Mullah Nasruddin's story, a very famous character in the Middle East who transmit enlightenment through jokes. It's very humorous. You know, one day he was searching under a street lamp. His neighbor came to him and said, "What are you doing, Mullah?" He said, "I am searching for my key, the key to my house. I lost it." He said, "Where did you lose it?" He said, "I lost it across the street." He said, "Why don't you go search for it there?" He said, "It's dark. Dark over there." You know, humanity lost something so deep, and when they begin to look for it, especially if they turn inwardly to look, the first thing they encounter is an immense emptiness. So everybody is avoiding the inner emptiness and going to Las Vegas. You know, some people says, I want love, and they say, okay, I have to find a relationship. I have to do this, I have to do that. True, it can come through that, but love is a quality of an open heart. If the heart is open, love flows, it generates love, you know. Sometimes through relationship, through falling in love, through this quality or this heart openness happens, and love flows in it. You know, then we associate love with the relationship and with the partner, and then disaster happens. Fall in love for 3 months and you kill each other for the rest of one's life because you expect them to generate the love or awaken the love in you or receive your love or give you love. All of a sudden it becomes an object relational field and the quality is blocked because we cannot experience love for so long. We cannot experience heart openness for so long. We want it, but to really have an open heart brings so many hidden issues. Vulnerability, hurt, rejection, so many things that psychologically we have to deal with, sort out how our love was rejected in childhood, our hearts were so hurt, or we didn't receive the love we needed, or the mirroring. So one quality like that is like love, which is a quality of our human nature, our heart, which is a quality of our soul residing in the heart. Another quality is that some people want power and majesty, and they think power is majesty, becoming a president, and so on. Then they reach those places. I had a friend of mine who reached such a huge, powerful position in the world. He was top on top, he reached a power, I cannot mention who or what, but he said to me one day, he said, if I want to remove this prime minister or another, I can do it just like that. He had that much power, in the global political scene. And he will come and say, I feel so empty. Now that I reached the mountaintop, I feel so, so empty because my ego got what it wanted, but there's nothing in it. What to do with this prime minister or that prime minister with this million, and that became billions. And happiness doesn't come from money. Money can help. Nothing bad about those things, But the source of those beautiful things that we seek, love, clarity, joy, strength, these are quality existing in a different domain. This different domain, we call it essential domain. This essential domain is a domain of subtler energies. And they have different colors and lights and densities and taste and effects. These qualities, when they run in the system, they give us different sense of reality. One gives us a sense of strength and warmth, and one gives us a sense of solidity and stability. One gives us a sense of fullness. One gives us a sense of lightness and joyousness. This hidden domain is rarely talked about, is rarely defined or known, is rarely described. Like when we say, what is joy? What is love? What is peace? What is strength? What is groundedness? What is solidity? We have effects. We usually talk about their effects, But when we really look deep inside to see what is joy, beside feeling lighthearted and playful and, laughing and all of those things, if you really dig inside and feel inside, you feel as if there is sweet yellow liquid running in the system. And when the sweet system, when the sweet quality running in the system, whether yellow light or yellow water or yellow diamond, all of these exist, different gradations in essence, they give you a different kind of joy. As if this is chemistry. It's like, you want to get drunk, you get a glass of wine, you get drunk. You want to have, booster shot, you drink something, some juice or something. Essence are alchemical qualities. In the past, they used to call them alchemy and alchemical qualities. And they are attributes of our soul, of our nature. They come from source, from being. Most spiritual teaching has been emphasized to go to the source itself, because if you really reach the source, you can feel safe and balanced. And if you journey in the source in a balanced way, essence begin to be born in your system. As if source, being, absolute, melt the frozen tensions and layers in the body and open the chakras, open the lataif, open the meridians, open the different centers, and you begin to be infused with different qualities. Cold, hot, warm, dense, neutral, spacious, focused, variety of qualities. Now, each quality of those essence fulfill a certain need we have, fulfill a certain seeking we are wanting. Once you begin to realize that the source of your fulfillment is within you, and it is only blocked by certain armoring in your body, tensions, and in those tensions there is memories of childhood or trauma or things like that. As you begin to learn how to undo this armoring and understand the issues that came with it in childhood, how we lost it. Children are born with essence. If you look at a baby and you just feel them, they are addictive. In no time, you become a cannibalist. Have you seen how people, they don't let them, babies sometimes scream, don't kiss me so much. We cannot. Why? Because their flesh is not an ordinary flesh. Their flesh glows with essence. there's golden essence, there's pomegranate essence, there's musk and amber, and all of those beautiful qualities that come from the soul, that come from source, and help the body be transformed and heal the psychological issues. We have so many psychological issues that we can't find resolution for them by an object relation. Find a partner and heal it, find a work and heal it. No, these are good to have, beautiful to share, but the healing is by releasing these nectars within, these qualities within. You know? And now we have more knowledges about it, more specific knowledges. Where are those qualities? What are those qualities? When did they get blocked? What age? What stage? What conflict? From all of these, resourcing our psychological history and resourcing our breathing and bodily relaxation and different techniques and opening up the body, we can connect to the subtle realm, you know, this essential realm.
May I ask before you move on? One piece I'd just like to question is how does you know, our neuronal fluids, you know, dopamine, endorphins, neuroepinephrine, all of these chemicals, how would you relate those to essence or essential qualities? I mean, I would imagine dopamine and endorphins have to do with joy, right?
Pleasure, joy, with relaxation. Yeah. For example, if we go to the brain, right? Let's take the three or famous, let's say four. One is the pituitary gland, which is, they are all in the middle of the brain. The pituitary to the front. Behind it is the pineal gland. And between them is the hypothalamus, you know. These are glands that regulate those morphine or whatever, you know, melatonin, serotonin, all of these things that produce and regulate the system and gives it pleasure. It's not only those glands, also the adrenals, all of those things. Every gland, major gland in the system is associated also with a quality of essence. Okay. For example, the pituitary has to do with black essence. Oh. And black essence has to do with a certain quality of essence that for an inner seeing, they see it as a black light or black pearl or black diamond, a whole dimension coming from the absolute as black emanation. The pituitary gland has the frequency to tune in to that. If the pituitary gland is blocked, it creates imbalance in the system, you know, and it creates in the ego extremism, you know, and it creates a craving for power and dominance. You see it in the 8 in the Enneagram. The 8 in the Enneagram, they seek power, you know, and I mean, and they think power is more physical power. They think the power is like, you know, like Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier killed each other, 15 you know, rounds, like beating each other, 2 8s in the Enneagram, hitting each other to infinity, you know, thinking that's power. And so once the distortion about power goes away, and once you begin to see that power is not physical, how much muscle you have and all of those things, nor ego trip of dominating the others. And once you see that maybe behind all of these power trips, you're afraid. You know, there is fear. And once you begin to experience the fear and you begin to discover you are just a little child who's, you know, so terrified of the immensity of father or mother and the, you know, or the neighborhood is so abusive, all of the fear begin to subside and release. The pituitary glands begin to open and you begin to see this black light coming. And the whole universe is bathing in this holy night, sacred night. We are on the verge of it now. Christmas, every Christmas night, the sacred night open, the holy night open, majestic. But people are afraid of the immensity of it. That is real power. Real power is being in touch with this black light, with the immensity of the universe, bathing in indestructible peace. Indestructible peace. You know? So once we begin to open up to the black essence and deal with the issues related to it, the pituitary gland begin to function. Then ego power begin to subside. You get filled with balance, with kindness, compassion. The pineal gland, for example, the color related to it is indigo, deep blue, you know, and deep blue is related to samadhi, you know. And when the pineal gland is released from whatever issue, which has to do with obsession, compulsion, you know, certain issues are obsession, compulsion, and programming oneself to be a robot. And this is how I am, and this is how I walk, and this is how I talk. Once this obsession is released, which is also fear-based, you know, and lack of orientation, not knowing how to be. Once that is released, and the person can relax into not knowing what to do and how to be, the pineal gland begin to open, and this ink-like substance begin to move in the system. That's melatonin, serotonin, endorphin.
Oh,
they have a color so beautiful, blue, and begin to secrete those pleasurable qualities. And when the issue is released from the pineal gland, you enter what we call samadhi, which is state of deep restfulness. Mm. Such a restfulness. The main issue there is worry and obsession. You release the worry. You're not worried about anything. You know you're gonna die. You know that. I mean, it's such total relief. So that releases. So that pineal gland produces or tune into the frequency of the deep blue or samadhi. The hypothalamus in between, the bridge between them, is a center of what we call the diamond consciousness, the diamond body. There is a diamond. There is an entity made of diamond, you know, and it has to do with the ability to see things as they are. You know, now we obsessed by seeing the things the way we are, the way we want them to be. You know, even if it is not the way it is, we stubborn. It is this way. It's, you know, it's my way or the highway. You know, all of it. Once this the limitation and subjectivity and focus releases, then the person experiences a heightened consciousness, you know, heightened awareness, don't one calls it, heightened consciousness. And this consciousness enables you to see things as they are, not as the way you want them or the other person wants them. So there is a diamond there. So essence is also located in the different centers in the body, in the different glands, you know, like the, what they call it? In the heart, in the chest, there is a gland, you know, atrophies in childhood. I think 6, 7 years old, it atrophies. Some children is earlier. Thymus gland, yes, thymus gland, the gland. And if you thymus gland atrophies in childhood due to the amount of emotional hurt. If the child is picked on a lot and attacked a lot and hurt a lot, this center contracts and the thymus gland shrinks. So when the person begin to work on that hurt, allow themselves to rage, get the anger out, and allow themselves to feel the grief and how much crying there is. As they allow the crying, this whole area between the ribs begin to tingle, begin to have cold heat, we call it, deep heat mentholatum. And the thymus gland resurrect again. And then the thymus gland help with the immune system, flushing the immune system. So essence is very practical in terms of healing the psychological issues, mental issues, and the bodily issues. So
and
we long for it.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but when you talk about, you know, let's say being bullied and that contracting thalamus, that's the start of the loss of essence and a hole, right?
Yeah, yeah. When you begin to focus on that area, you might experience first the pain, and as the pain eases up, sometimes, more often, you feel as if the chest is hollow or empty, or the brain is hollow and empty. So you reach the emptiness. That's why I say the human being inside is empty. But there are many gradations of emptiness, different, you know. So once you begin to undo the blockage, the armoring, the conditioning in that area, it eases, it opens up. Sometimes the most obvious thing that happens, you feel a hollowness in the chest. You feel an emptiness in the chest or in the kidneys or whatever, you know. And if you stay with it, then the quality begins to be born. You feel the tingling, and you feel the flow of the substance flowing into whatever center you are dealing with. So there is issue, and there is a whole, and there is a quality underneath it. Sometimes it doesn't happen like that exactly. You know, it's not like, you know, you feel the pain and you release it and you immediately feel the quality, then it goes away, then you feel empty in the chest. But it's the play of those three things: issues, whole, and quality.